Snuggle Stories presents Ari the Brave's Jungle Journey. Written by Krystal Wallick and illustrated by Nettuno. Why do I have to stay at the hospital, Mom? Well, Ari, says Mom, there's a small problem with your lungs, and Dr. Joe and the nurses are going to fix it. You mean my breathing machines, Mom? Yes, that's right. Your lungs are the machines that make your body breathe. Will I need surgery? Yes. Dr. Joe is going to give you sleepy medicine through a straw in your arm called an IV. You'll fall asleep for a little while. When you wake up, I'll be right here waiting for you, and your lungs will be healthy again. The nurse said you can even have a popsicle when you wake up. Then, after a few days in the hospital, we will all go home. Not knowing what's going to happen is scary for Ari, so he decides to turn his hospital visit into an adventure. I'll pretend that I'm going to a big jungle instead of having surgery, he announces. But when they arrive in the hospital room, Ari feels a little nervous. It's normal to feel nervous, but remember, you are brave, you are strong, you can do this, says Mom. Yes, I can, Ari answers boldly. The nurses all smile. As Ari drifts off to sleep, he pretends to be deep in the jungle. He sees tall trees and vines growing high up on the hospital walls. Green grass grows over the checkered floor. His tubes and wires turn to pesky spider webs. He shoos the spiders away. The bright lights of the operating room turn into the shining sun. The sounds of the doctors and nurses rushing around become monkeys swinging through the treetops. Ari remembers his mom's words and says to himself, I am brave, I am strong, I can do this. As Ari explores his new jungle, he suddenly hears a frightening sound. He turns around and, what? A giant rhinoceros with a great big horn shoots a blazing ball of fire out of his nose. Yikes! Since when do rhinos blow fire? Ari shouts. He quickly jumps out of the way. Even though Ari is scared, he wants to prove how brave and strong he can be. You are no match for me, Mr. Rhinoceros, he says. Ari looks around and sees a sword hidden in the bushes. Ugh, those pesky spiderwebs are all over the bushes, he moans. Ari bravely shoos the spiders away, then reaches for the sword, raises it high above his head, and begins swinging. He yells, I am brave, I am strong, I can do this. The rhinoceros squeals and runs away. Phew! One challenge down, Ari says. I can do this. Ari continues his journey. He meets other small and very unusual creatures. One of the creatures is very friendly. Hi, I'm Cindy, says a super fluffy, teeny tiny miniature cheetah. Can I join you on your adventure? Of course, says Ari. Ari and Cindy climb trees. They build forts out of sticks and leaves. They watch the monkeys swinging through the treetops and practice sword tricks, all while trying to avoid those pesky spiderwebs. But even though he is having fun, Ari is still a little afraid of what else might be lurking in the jungle. He will be careful. I am brave, I am strong, I can do this, he says to Cindy. Cindy and Ari walk and walk and walk. Soon, they come to a river. Hey, someone left a canoe here, Ari shouts as he hops in for a ride. Come on, Cindy, let's see where this river goes. Oh no, there are even spiderwebs in this canoe. Cindy helps Ari shoo away the spiderwebs, and they start to paddle. After rowing for what seems like forever, they come across a waterfall. The water starts rushing harder and louder and faster. I have a bad feeling about this, says Ari. Cindy agrees and says, let's find a safe place to dock. But as they are heading back to shore, a huge purple octopus rises out of the water, nearly flipping their canoe. Ari shouts, "What? How did an octopus get in a river?" Ari is terrified, but he knows that with his sword and Cindy by his side, he can conquer this. After all, he already beat a fire-breathing rhinoceros. The octopus swings its tentacles and makes a big whopping splash. The waves become so rough that Ari can barely hold on any longer. He grabs tight onto Cindy for support. Cindy lets out a great big roar and reminds Ari, "You are brave, you are strong, you can do this." Ari takes a deep breath, raises the sword above his head, and begins swinging. Just as before, he shouts, "I am brave, I am strong, I can do this." The octopus gives one final flip of a big purple tentacle and disappears way down into the water. Gone! Woohoo! Ari and Cindy cheer. Ari knows now that even though he was afraid and nervous before, he can do anything. Ari and Cindy quickly find a safe spot on the shore when Ari starts to hear a voice in the distance. It's a familiar voice, and it's getting louder and louder. He can see his mom waiting for him. They dock, and Ari runs into her arms. He knows he is finally safe. Ari tells her, "Mama, you'll never believe it. I battled a fire-breathing rhinoceros and an enormous octopus. I was so brave and strong. I did it." Giggling, she says to him, "I think you've had enough adventure." Ari hides his sword under some bushes. He's surprised to find that there are no pesky spider webs in his way. "Goodbye, Cindy. I'll miss you," he says, giving her a hug and a pat on the head. When Ari opens his eyes, he's no longer in the jungle. The tall trees and vines are back to white hospital walls. The green grass is back to the checkered hospital floor. The swinging monkeys are gone, and the nurses are rushing around again. Ari's parents are next to his bed. His mom says, "I'm proud of you, Ari. You were brave, you were strong, you did it." Ari smiles. He did it.
Like this video, give a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next week!